Hi, welcome to Microsoft Ignite Live. I'm Pumla Schmidt here with Michael Green, and we're here to talk about Azure Policy Guest Management.
Yeah,
Woo! Let's get started. So that is a mouthful, okay?
sure is.
Azure Policy Guest Configuration Management. Like, what is that? What does that all really
Yeah.
mean? Because I'm thinking SCCM.
Right. Think about it as policy-driven configuration. Actually, a lot of the constructs from SCCM carry over to this scenario, so it's a pretty easy thing for people who have been using SCCM to get their brains around, I'm finding.
So is it for SCCM admins to push updates to VMs in Azure, or is it more than that? Because I'm also a virtualization VMware admin in a prior life.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like, where does this all play?
Yeah, let's break down some of these tools that we've been talking about this week and think about how they all come together. So you mentioned Azure Policy Guest Configuration. Guest configuration at its core just means we want it to be as easy as possible, no matter what tool you're using, to configure things in Azure. So based on that premise, we have a tool set that allows you right now to audit what's happening inside your virtual machines. And there's a library of content. So we've got like 60 definitions, and you can go in and say, who's in the administrators group? Or our latest is we can audit an entire OS baseline, like 300 settings across Windows servers, and say, what's going on inside these machines? So that's your first step forward. And through some of our tools we introduced this week, like Arc, we can even do this on-premise. So on premises. So if you have virtual machines running in a data center that's not in Azure, you can audit the machines there as well. And we just introduced this past Wednesday, I think, our first policy that allows you to also push configurations. So go ahead.
Push on premises and in the cloud?
That's right.
Oh.
The number one question we've had at the booth this week is what's going on with PowerShell DSC? Can you give us an update, like what you've been working on? So this is using DSC. So this is our latest version. There's all kinds of stuff in the documentation that addresses some of our top user voice requests around what DSC had been doing. And guest configuration is our ability to work across, really in the future, Windows and Linux, using PowerShell as a common tool. So people who have that skill set and have been working with PowerShell can do it. And through built-in content, even if you're sort of more of a code-averse person, you can just go to these built-in policies and assign them, and it just works. So it's a completely new opportunity for people with that skill set to bring more value to their organization.
So I'm going to ask what about group policy?
Yeah.
Because that group policy I knew was always a nightmare in a prior life of mine.
Yes.
How does this all play into that?
This is the topic I'm presenting on Friday, so I can't wait to talk to you about it.
Shout out to yourself. What's your session ID?
It's
people can attend.
Azure Policy Guest Configuration, which is a mouthful, and then the evolution of group policy. And that nails it. Like, we don't want to go to these IT admins who have spent the last 20 years talking about, like, how do I manage all of my Windows environments using group policy and building that skill set. We want to evolve that as a skill set for the cloud. So our team is also taking on using these same tools to address how do you apply configurations, regardless if you're domain joined or not domain joined, or what if you want to look at your environment and say, I just want to sort of mirror what I'm doing here and start doing it in Azure. Even if the machine's only going to live for 30 minutes in a test machine, right? I still want to evaluate that my application doesn't take me out of compliance when I release it to production. There's all kinds of great opportunity here.
So no more building templates if you're a VMware administrator.
Because
there are still some admins that do that.
That's right. You might. So some people will choose to put the settings in their template and then just roll out machines and use these tools as an audit and a governance tool. But what we're finding for most customers is they want to make that template more and more generic all the time, all the way to where they can start using things like the Azure Marketplace images. And then as they deploy, they can rely on things like Azure Policy to just put everything as it should be, regardless of if it's in a test environment or released to production.
So what are some of the sample policies that you've talked about that customers can just jump right into using?
Yeah, we have some really good ones. One of the more interesting ones, we can audit if there are any certificates that are going to expire within a time range.
I giggle with that one. I love it.
Think of all the outages you can avoid.
Gosh. Like, oops, our certificate expired.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's not something you would monitor for.
No.
It's not an application error. It's like a configuration item that no one seems to really own.
Yeah, you create a Franken script.
That's right.
Find out, yes.
And you know what happened? We go and do we've got these customer POCs. And it's one of the first things people came up with is, could you audit to see if you have certificates that are about to expire? And what we're finding is, like, these are just PowerShell-based content. Our team can turn around built-in content within a couple of weeks. So as customers come to us and say, okay, you offer this option for us to build our own thing and implement it into Azure, but can you make some of these really core ones just built in? And we can usually get that turned around pretty quickly. So.
That's pretty impressive. What about the question I used to always ask, when was the last time a server rebooted?
We can audit both, are you pending reboots? So maybe you've got some patches out there that sort of installed but didn't install, and the machine's just waiting to be rebooted, so we can detect that. We also have another one that also came in directly from a customer. They said, can you possibly check to see if machines haven't been rebooted within a time frame? I said, sure, but why would you want to know that?
Oh, so many reasons.
Rogue machines.
Yes.
People are spinning up virtual machines, and of course, if it's in the cloud, they might be getting charged for it, by the minute. And so they said, we want to find machines that nobody's paying attention to. So we look for machines that haven't been rebooted.
So all the stuff that you're telling me, it's like this product is... It's something that every customer can use, regardless of their digital transformation. I love the word, but it's true. Every organization is transforming digitally somehow, and they're at different stages. So it almost seems like this is the product to help you get there.
Yeah, and if you look across Azure Management Hybrid Services, we've got update management, change tracking and inventory, we can configure the machine, we can audit the machine, we can plug these tools into other services around Azure so you can get alerts and you can maintain records of this data if you need it for compliance and regulatory purposes. So we've really got a comprehensive set of management tools now, all driven by policy.
So let's talk more about the governance piece, because I love governance. How does policy guest configuration help with cloud governance?
We actually designed this so we can sort of fit into these cultural changes that are happening in digital transformation. We're kind of running into both sets of customers. We're finding in some customers, operations has control over everything. So they can go directly to a policy that configures something and just push it out. We also have customers where the operations teams have told us, we're read-only. Like, yes, we can see what's happening across all these subscriptions, but we have to influence the application teams to make their machines compliant. And if they don't want to or have the knowledge, it's a big uphill battle to make this happen. So for each of the things we're doing, our first policy last week that we just introduced was set the time zone, because we just want to get feedback on the experience. Just mild scenario we can start working with. So we have an audit policy. Somebody can go check, are you in the right time zone? And then if the application team wants to become compliant, they can just apply our configuration policy.
So it's setting the time zone. Is the administrator dictating what time zone they're supposed to be in, or is it actually something within the server itself that's saying, hey, I'm supposed to be in Central Time Zone, but I'm showing up in New York?
Very good question. The audit policy is the first thing you said. So let's just go look across these machines and see what time zone they're in. And then the application team can say, oh, my security team has a new rule. How am I ever going to meet it? I don't want to go build these scripts. They just apply the configure policy, and then we're good. And they can apply it based on any criteria you want. So if we take that simple example and really roll this out 3 years from now, all the different things we'll be doing. Well, if you can filter on any ARM property, imagine that you could have a tag, and you could say for VMs, high business impact.
Yes.
And as soon as you do, the requirements both for audit and what gets applied to it just become more stringent to make sure that maybe you need CIS compliance, or maybe you need to be STIG compliant, or whatever the case may be. You could just rely on different key value pairs in Azure properties to make those determinations. So it's really neat. By the way, there's a really cool plugin. There's actually a release gate built into Azure DevOps for policy compliant.
Wow.
So imagine you're updating your application, you're iterating through these different changes, and a lot of people have been through this, like you release to production, and then you're like, now I'm out of compliance because my release changed something in my web config, and it wasn't supposed to be there, and how was I supposed to know? So now you could release to a test resource group, let Azure DevOps go see if Azure policy says you're compliant, and if so, safely release to production. So no more like crossing your fingers as you're going to production. You can actually include that in your test matrix.
So what happens when you need to revert? Because that does happen. I mean, yeah, we all like to say we do everything 100%.
Yeah.
things happen, we have to revert, we have to roll back.
Yep. The answer is it depends. So there's some settings where the only way to revert is to roll forward the opposite.
Okay.
Right? Roll back to the original. There's other cases where we're looking at tooling like Azure Backup, so we can say, let's get a snapshot before changes are made and help customers orchestrate that, so we're still sort of feeling that out. And then one of the things we'll be talking about on Friday, we're actually thinking it might be possible, since we're looking at group policy and how we can start managing that in a more integrated way, not just apply the same settings, but actually integrate Azure policy and group policy and start evolving this into a cloud-based skill set, that we can take advantage of some of those capabilities, like not configured, that automatically rolls it back to the default state.
So for those group policy administrators that are used to using group policy to configure their machines, is it possible to convert over to guest policy?
This is a really, really interesting question. There is a community
Sorry to
module.
throw that on you there, but it's one that I'm sitting here thinking,
How do I get there?
Yeah, like, in the former life, because there's a lot
Yeah.
of us that use group policy, and now we're like, oh, wait a minute, now you've got this other tool, so how do I change?
So this is one of my favorite things to run in VS Code. There's a community tool called Baseline Management. And so you take a backup of your group policy and you run this PowerShell command against it, and it writes your DSC configuration for you. And you're
Really?
just sitting in front of this editor watching 3,000 lines of code get written based on whatever standard group policy backup you were looking at before. And it's really fun to use. We're also looking at a whole new set of tools within the next few months, actually, where we're investigating some scenarios like, can I just see what's happening on these servers and maybe go automatically create it in policy. So these are the kind of scenarios that we're talking to customers about this week and getting feedback and deciding what's the right place where we should enhance our tooling.
So speaking of feedback, where can customers give feedback?
So the best place to start for getting information in general is aka.ms/gcpol, guest configuration, POL, and then user voice. So there's, for Azure, there's all kinds of different user voice pages, and we're one of those included. And it's something that I go out and check and see what's going on, that people are requesting for desired state configuration, for Azure policy, what do they need? And then, of course, you can always reach me on Twitter, just MIGreen, M-I-G-R-E-E-N-E.
A little bit more about Arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's this new thing that we released. Where does Azure Policy Guest Configuration fall within the Arc?
So I've been at the Arc booth all week. That's where I got this cool jacket.
I have one just like that.
So Azure Arc is such a cool idea. I've been working in this space for a long time, and each of these management services has always had this option where you go to onboard a machine, and it says, oh, is the machine in Azure? Great, press this button. Oh, the machine's not in Azure? Well, we have a good hybrid story. Here's a link to our documentation and a PowerShell script and a Bash script and a rabbit's foot. Good luck, right? And so now, the whole idea is, what if you could take things that aren't in Azure and project them into Azure, make them look and feel like they're in Azure, even though we don't care what hardware it's on, we don't care if it's virtual or physical, it's just a server, right, sitting somewhere. Well, now that it shows up in Azure, it's in a resource group, it's tagged, it's got a resource ID, it's got RBAC, all of those things. But when you go to these management services, now you'll be able to say, I need to onboard to monitoring. Well, this thing already knows about it. Click the button, just like if it was running in Azure. And now I can onboard my management services. So now if I'm experimenting with audits, and then tomorrow monitoring becomes available, it'll be so much easier to onboard and start experiencing with that. And I can just use Azure policy, and if I say I need to monitor all my machines, I don't care where they are, then now it's going to know about it. It's not just a rogue machine sitting out somewhere that's not being managed, and who knows what location it's in and what services. Now it'll all just be ARM properties, even if it's not in Azure.
Now, so when it's in a different environment, I'm saying environment, regardless of where it's at, so we're able to apply policy.
Yep.
Just like it's sitting in your own little...
It'll have ARM properties, and the same scenario we just talked about, like this machine's high business impact, so we need to make sure it has the most regimented controls. Yeah, you can do tags even if it's not in Azure.
Really?
Isn't that cool?
Does it inherit tags too?
You can set policies to say, based on certain properties, we should have some of these things automatically get populated. And the cool thing is, you could even start mixing and matching these policies. When we get into the custom configuration space.
Because everyone's, I hate to say, everyone's custom.
That's
We
right.
have our own little gremlins and customization.
Yeah. So imagine in the future, you go to VMware and you say, I'm going to create a new server, and in my image that we were just talking about, you include the Arc agent. The machine starts up and it says, well, my name is Web01, so I should probably become a web server. And I'm sitting in this resource group that says it's a high business impact resource group, so I should get locked down. And on and on and on, all these different layers, and it just automatically builds.
Well, that's all the time we have. This was a great conversation. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael. And thank you, everyone, for watching Microsoft Ignite Live.